Now, before we get into today's show, I want to thank everybody who joined my first holiday giveaway. But in case you missed it, don't worry. The holiday season is not over. We're just getting started. So go to winlarry.com right now. I have another giveaway waiting for you. This Christmas, we are proud to give you something I know many of you have been asking for. That's right. For the first time ever, we're giving away a full subscription to the Epoch Times. You'll get a weekly print paper delivered to your door, plus access to all of the Epoch Times digital content, including Epoch TV, where you can watch my full 1-hour show without censorship. I promise this is going to be one of the best gifts you're going to ever get. Besides, what's a better way to celebrate Christmas than having a reliable source of honest news delivered right to your door? So, what are you waiting for? Just go to winlarry.com right now. I will announce 3 lucky winners live on my show on December 23rd. winlarry.com right now. That's winlarry.com right now. My guest is Kari Lake. As you know, she ran for governor in Arizona. Kari, give us an update. What's going on?
Well, as you know, Larry, we led an amazing movement here in Arizona, grassroots all the way, drawing massive crowds, and had a movement running against a basement Biden-style character who was running on the Democrat ticket, who had a control of our elections here, which was a major conflict of interest. And with our movement being very strong and all of our people showing up on election day to vote, they pretty much sabotaged election day voting in Maricopa County, one of the biggest counties in the entire country. It's the second largest when it comes to electoral power. 62% of our entire state lives in Maricopa County. And knowing that, just coincidentally, all the equipment stopped working on election day.
Just sort of happened.
Just kind of happened at 63%. 63% of election day voting centers, the tabulating equipment went down or malfunctioned. The ballot printers didn't work. They weren't printing out ballots. They had no toner, or the printers were malfunctioning. There were lines that lasted anywhere from 1 to 5 hour lines for people to vote. One location, one of our affidavits shows that a woman saw a mile-long line of people waiting to vote. And she kept going from polling location to polling location, trying to find a location where she wouldn't have to wait in line, and never could find one, so she didn't even vote. This happened throughout the day on election day when all of our people were voting. We have election month here in Arizona, but they really targeted election day. And sadly, the 2 men who run our election day operation in Maricopa County were both very much against me as a candidate. In a position like that, when you're running the elections, you should be as close to neutral as possible. And even though they were Republicans, they started a super PAC back in July to raise money to try to defeat any candidate that questioned our elections. And I found out after doing some research into their super PAC that every penny they spent on expenditures went to trying to defeat just one candidate. Yours truly. So the men running Maricopa County elections had a super PAC trying to defeat me. And they were also working to censor people online, working with the federal government to censor people on Twitter, along with Katie Hobbs, my opponent, who's the Secretary of State. So we are contesting this election. They say through their numbers that we lost by 17,000 votes. Nobody in Arizona believes that. They saw the movement we have. Everyone, even the Democrats, were criticizing Katie Hobbs for her non-existent campaign. The only thing that makes me feel a little bit proud is that they had to go through extraordinary efforts to try to bring down our movement. They couldn't do it with the way they did it in 2020. They had to go above and beyond by sabotaging election day. And we will be taking this to court. We're filing a lawsuit tomorrow, and we will be challenging this election. The voters of Arizona are demanding that I remain in this and stay in and fight so that their voices are heard. We've been running elections in Arizona like we are in a third world country, a banana republic, and the people of Arizona are fed up. If we don't stand up and fight this now, Larry, we will not have elections in this country. People won't show up to vote anymore.
I was going to ask you, are you accusing these people of sabotage? You used the word sabotage.
I did, because I do believe in coincidence, but to have 60+% of the polling locations on election day go down like this, it's a little too much for me to believe. And we know that the way they all went down, all of the equipment's malfunctioned the same way, the same type of malfunction. It's a lot of coincidence to swallow, Larry. And I think the people of Arizona know what's going on. People waiting in line for up to 5 hours to vote.
Right.
That's disenfranchisement. And because of the size of this county, if you can take Maricopa County, the other 14 counties in Arizona don't even have to exist. And the people in those counties are saying our vote was disenfranchised. We were disenfranchised because of the shoddy way they ran that election in Maricopa County. They disenfranchised our vote here in Mojave County or
Right.
in Yavapai County or in Cochise County. Not to mention when the folks in Mojave County and Cochise County on the Board of Supervisors were reluctant to certify the election because of what happened in Maricopa County, and they wanted answers. My opponent, Katie Hobbs, threatened them with jail time and a lawsuit if they didn't certify the election. It is their job to ask questions. They felt uncomfortable certifying the election.
Right.
One of them, County Supervisor Ron Gould, said he was being forced to certify the election under duress because he was being threatened with a Class 6 felony and arrest if he didn't certify the election. This happened in Cochise County as well. She used her power as Secretary of State to strong arm people into going against what their instincts were and what they were elected to do, which is ask questions and make sure before they certify an election that they have confidence in it.
What's that? The great Oldersky has in his baby brown libertarian fingers a couple of MYPILLOW slippers? Yes, I do, and they're right here. And you can't have mine, but you can get your own if you call that number right on the screen. Also, you can go to MyPillow.com and use promo code ELDER. They come in different colors. They come in different styles. What's this? Elder has a MyPillow at the ready? I most certainly do. This is the Mac Daddy of them all, the MyPillow. Am I being redundant? They come in different sizes. You've never slept on anything more comfortable. Again, call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code ELDER. What's this? The 6-pack? Towels? Hand cloths? Face cloth? Say it ain't so, Elder. It is so. 6-pack. All you have to do is call the number on your screen or MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. Finally, what does Elder have here? He has the Giza Dream bedsheet. Mine comes in white, fitting for the black face of white supremacy. But since you're not the black face of white supremacy, you might want different colors. And they come in different colors. Also, different sizes because beds come in different sizes, so I'm told. Twin, king, queen, king. Did I say king already? California king. Call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. Now, let's talk about Joe Biden. He recently came to your state. He was asked whether or not he was going to go to the border. He said there were more important things. And as you know, I think a day or so later, a Border Patrol agent was killed pursuing some illegal aliens. What's going on with the border? Why didn't Joe Biden go?
The border is, along with our botched and shady elections in this country, the border is the number one issue. We have a wide open border. We didn't have that with President Trump. He had brought into play some exceptional border policies that were keeping us safe, keeping the cartels at bay and the drugs away. And Joe Biden on day one came and pulled back that perfect border policy that President Trump had put into place. He opened up our border, handed over control to the cartels and the international terrorists, the narco terrorists, and opened up our country to an invasion like we've never seen before in the history of this country since our founders created the United States of America. And what that did with the drug crisis is exacerbated to the point where the number one killer of young people is now drug poisoning, fentanyl poisoning. And for Joe Biden to come to Arizona and refuse to visit the border, refuse to talk to parents who've lost a loved one to fentanyl poisoning, is such a slap in the face to the people of Arizona and, frankly, to the people of America. This crisis that Joe Biden created in Arizona has caused a ripple effect across the country when it comes to smuggling, human smuggling, child trafficking, and fentanyl poisoning. This isn't a drug overdose when people die of fentanyl. It is a poisoning. And I believe that the CCP, working in conjunction with the Mexican cartels, is intent on destroying America by poisoning our young people and destroying our young generation with the most deadly drug that we've ever seen. And if you don't believe that drugs can take down a country, I know you do because you understand history, Larry. The Opium Wars brought down dynasties. They are attempting to destroy us at every level with these terrible policies that Joe Biden has put into play. From the drugs destroying our young generation to the invasion where millions of people coming here illegally are coming into this country, to the undercutting of the American worker who's now battling for jobs and battling for all sorts of resources that they're handing out to people coming here illegally.
And finally, Kari, you were called an election denier. I was called an election denier, but you did something that I didn't do. When I was called that, I rattled off all the people that had been denying elections on the Democratic side. I mentioned Hillary's been doing it for years. I talked about Stacey Abrams. I talked about Al Gore referring to George W. Bush as president-select. You have these Benny Thompson, the chair of the January 6th committee, the first week of January 2005. He joined 30 other Democrats and Senator Barbara Boxer to overturn the results in Ohio, claiming without any evidence that the Debo voting machine had been tampered with. But I did not have a camera on these people when I did it. So I went through this litany, and then you cut on the news, and it's 5 seconds, none of which none of the stuff I said about the election denying on the Democratic side showing up. But you had your own crew, and someone challenged you, and you had a staffer hand you a paper. You had all these statements made by Democrats denying elections for years, and they had no choice but to run it. And if they didn't run it, you would have run it. It was beautiful. I should have done that.
Well, I worked 30 years in the media, and we knew that they would never cover the story. They would push their narrative and ask these questions and accuse you of everything. And then when you put your answer out, and I know I've known you for some time now, Larry, and you're one of the most brilliant people I know. You have a great answer. They never use the great answer. Right. And so we put it out and put it right in their face, and nobody's watching the fake news anymore. So we probably got more clicks and views on that clip, showing the people that other people have questioned elections in their lives, and then some, especially the Democrats. And they didn't get their accounts canceled. They didn't get their lives destroyed. They didn't get their livelihood taken away from them. They didn't get called out in the media. They were celebrated for doing that. And we still have a First Amendment. It's hanging by a thread right now. But I plan to use my mouth and my First Amendment rights right up until the bitter end. And if we don't speak out now about the wrongs in our country and what's happening, we will no longer have that ability to speak freely. And so it's so important for us to speak out. And I know you've been doing it and taking the heat. I'm willing to take the heat because we've got elections that are run like we're in a banana republic. We don't have we have our freedoms being pulled away from us. And if they take our voice when it comes to freedom of speech, and they take our voice at the ballot box, we are in a world of hurt. The country will crumble. And it's so important for us to stand up at this difficult moment, and it is difficult, and fight to have fair elections. I say we have fake news, and I believe we have fake elections, Larry. And that's why their hair raises up on the back of their neck so hard when we speak out about our elections, and they attack us because they know we're onto it. They know that people are awake to what's happening in our elections. And this is the moment where we have to get in there and demand secure, honest elections that are transparent and we can have faith in once again.
Kari Lake, keep us posted. Thank you so much for taking the time. God bless.
I will, Larry. Have a great day.
You too. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and scroll down for the description below. Get on our mailing list. Why? Well, every now and then, YouTube has an issue with some of our videos. If you want to make sure you get all of our videos, get on our mailing list. And throw a little something in the tip jar if you like the show. You can hit that donate button to make sure we still give you hard-hitting content.